Now, remember, unemployment, we had three types of people in an economy. So we had the people that have a job, the people that are employed, the people that don't have a job, but they do want one, so they are unemployed. And then we have finally the people that are out of the labor force, the people that, they don't have a job and they don't want one, so they're out. So these people are in the labor force. And the other people that just don't want a job at all, they're out. Okay? So there creates the labor force, the employed plus the unemployed. This is very useful because when we talk about the unemployment rate, it's the unemployed divided by the labor force. It is not unemployed divided by population. Unemployed divided by the labor force. All right? That is the unemployment rate. Something else we're going to look at is the labor force participation rate. So this is just basically how many people are in the labor force divided by your population. How many people in your economy are participating? Okay? So labor force participation rate, labor force divided by population. Remember there are three types of unemployment: frictional, structural, cyclical. Remember the frictional people, that was the short-term unemployment. So, these are the people that are quitting their job and trying to find another one. These are the people that are firing the least productive workers just because they don't do a good job, so you're gone. The structural, that's where you're getting replaced, right? Like you're getting replaced by a machine. And the final one is the cyclical. If your boss came to you and said, hey, you're losing your job, and you said, is it because of my bad performance? They say no. Is it because I'm trying to find a better job? No, it's not that. We're only having a bad economy. That's why you're losing your job. So therefore, you would be cyclically unemployed. If you lose your job due to a contraction or a recession, you are cyclically unemployed. Okay? Which brought us to full employment. Remember, full employment was basically your frictional plus your structural. Like, how many of those people do you have? So that meant that the cyclical unemployment was 0. When you are at full employment, your cyclical unemployment is 0. That is full employment. The natural rate of unemployment, so that's just the unemployed divided by the labor force. That is your unemployment rate. But what you're going to do is you're going to look at just the frictional and the structural. That's what you're doing. You don't care about cyclical. Like, what is your full employment GDP? Frictional plus structural. Okay? If you are at your full employment output, then you are at your natural rate of GDP. This is going to come in handy when we look at the graph. Okay. The next thing we talked about was the multipliers. We don't really look at the tax multiplier anymore, but we do look at this spending multiplier, where a change of $100 is going to turn into $1,000. Okay. So what we need is the MPS. So if I gave you an MPC of 0.8, you would do 1 divided by the MPS, which is 1 divided by 0.2. If you were to do the math here, that would equal 5. So what this means is that if we're looking for a change in GDP of 1,000, then we just need to do a change of 200, because 200 times 5 is 1,000. Okay, the multiplier effect. Okay. Now, what is exactly GDP? Well, that was the total value of all production, right? So there were two sides of this production. There was the demand side, so the aggregate demand, which would have been C plus I plus G plus NX. That is aggregate demand. Your total demand for the economy. That is how much GDP you're having. It's measuring the total demand for goods and services throughout the economy. C plus I plus G plus NX. And these are going to be the things that are going to be shifting it, right? So a change in consumption. If you have more income, if you have a change in interest rates or a change in expectations, that's going to change your consumption. Investment, right? Change in interest rates. If interest rates are higher, investment goes down. If interest rates are lower, investment goes up. Very important. Okay. Government spending, that's just the government spending more money. If they want to spend more money, more aggregate demand. Okay. Net exports, that was exports minus the imports. Right? If imports are higher, then aggregate demand goes down. If exports are higher, aggregate demand goes up. Now, when I say aggregate demand goes up, what I'm saying is I'm saying to the right. If I say down, that means to the left. For the short run aggregate supply curve, remember it's going to look like this. Remember, it looks like this because in the beginning we're in the recessionary stage, and intermediate, and then inflationary. So these are the different reasons why we are looking at it like this. Now the short run could shift for these reasons right here, such as a change in input prices. Remember, input prices are the cost of production. So if it costs you more money to make it, you supply less. So input prices up, then the SRAS is lower. So therefore we would shift it to the left. Another thing we can have is tax policies. So when there are taxes, you have to pay more in taxes, you produce less. Government regulations, if the government's trying to tell you what to do, this is going to decrease supply. And then finally, environmental issues. So if you have any trouble with the environment, that's going to affect your production. You could have good weather as well. Good weather could increase the supply. So it's all about whether you can make more or less. So if taxes go up, supply goes down. If government regulations go down, supply goes up. If we have good weather, then the supply will go up. Input prices higher, supply goes down. If input prices are lower, then the short run aggregate supply curve will be increasing. So that's the shifts in the short run. The long run is a little bit different, okay? Because the long run, remember, prices don't matter in the long run. They don't. We only look at the production. And this production is YF, the full employment output. Right? This is telling you your potential. Right? Your potential GDP. Now, what could change your potential? Well, if you had more resources, more technology, maybe you had government incentives to increase capital stock, those things, that would increase your GDP. Okay, so those things would change your long run. Most times, your long run is just going to be increasing. Very rarely does it decrease. Also, remember, there is nothing here about prices or wages. There's only things about the amount of resources you have. That changes your long run. All right. In the next video, we'll talk about recessionary gaps and inflationary gaps. I'll see you there.